Jeff. Jeff? Jeffrey. 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 Soap. You can be Jeffrey. You can be Jeffrey. You can be Jeffrey. You can be Jeffrey. Hey you guys, and welcome to another episode of Jet Adventures. Now today, we're going to be talking about a non-spoiler review of the movie Don't Breathe. Now Don't Breathe is a movie that came out not this past Friday, but the Friday before, August 25th, and it was directed by Fede Alvarez, who's directed such movies as Evil Dead in 2013, the remake, and a couple of other movies, but this is the Evil Dead is the one he's most well known for. And it's basically a story about these three robbers. So the three robbers are Rocky, Money, and Alex. Rocky is played by Jane Levy, Money is played by Danielle Zavato, and Alex is played by Dylan Minnette. And so they've been robbing people for a while, and they're here to rob this blind man who's a retired Army vet who they think may be sitting on some money. And they go in, and as you can see from the trailers, things get weird. And it's set in Detroit, so they kind of play with the whole idea that Detroit's some of the bad neighborhoods in Detroit basically have almost no people living in them. I don't know if you've seen those pictures, but if you look it up, they're basically, some of the neighborhoods are like ghost towns. And so that was a pretty interesting decision to make for Detroit. The character they really focus on wound up being Rocky, Jane Levy. And that's the one who they give the most backstory for. So they set up these really great moments, and you feel the tension, especially, like I said, with the trying to focus on being quiet. They really start to play with that sound. And if you're watching the movie and you understand how important it is to be quiet, and you're hearing all these little sounds that they kind of elevate, something you wouldn't normally hear maybe in a regular horror movie, they kind of start to become important in this one, and they're highlighted. And that was something I really did appreciate, because they really focused in on the fact that, yeah, he can't see, but some of his other senses are elevated. And so that was a really cool aspect for me. So the movie, in terms of how good it was, I guess I'd have to say it was okay. It tells you exactly what's in the trailer. So in the trailer, it looks like you've got some moments of really high tension and suspense, and other moments of great fear. You're wondering what the hell is going on. What is this blind man doing to these kids, these robbers? And it gets weirder than you think it would. And I know they've shown a girl like in a harness, like running out in this weird like cage thing, or like dungeon type thing, and that's definitely pretty well incorporated. In terms of the directing, I think Fede Alvarez did a pretty good job. He did some really interesting things with the shots, where it was these like sweeping shots where he would focus on one object and then move on to the other as the characters were moving about in the scene. And I thought that was pretty interesting, and I could have sworn that they were going to focus on the elements that they were showing in those scenes, and only a few elements actually got focused on. Some of them were just like things that almost didn't even matter. But, and I'll talk more about that in the discussion review. But the direction was okay. The acting was honestly a little subpar for me. I know that, you know, the actors didn't have a lot to work with in terms of the script, because the way they kind of set things up, they focused on the girl and they focused a little bit on the blind man and a little bit on Alex, and they basically did nothing for money. But what they did with her, I felt like maybe she turned in just not that strong of a performance when they were trying to show the heart, and then when you were trying to understand the blind man as well. So some of those scenes were a little bit hollow. I felt like I wasn't really connecting to them too well. And so for me, the movie wound up being a little bit below my expectations. If I had to give it a grade out of 10, I'd probably call it a 6 right now. Maybe have to see it again to get a better idea or sense of it. But right now I'm standing at a pretty solid 6. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't totally boring. The setup was a little tough to get through. You kind of feel like, okay, come on, let's get into it. But if you were to ask me, should I go see this movie? I would say only if you're interested in these types of suspense movies. There are some people who, you know, casual movie-going audience wants to see a really good movie. I think it's probably one of the stronger suspense movies of recent memory. Maybe The Gift with Jason Bateman. That one was pretty good too. They set up some really high tense moments. But other than that, this one has probably the other stronger suspense movie. And that's pretty much all I've got. Let me know what you thought. Have you seen the movie? Do you want to see the movie? What did you think about the review? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I know Jeff's gonna come out with another video. But all that aside, I hope you enjoyed the review. Until next time, Jet Adventures.